Heavy air bombardment on several governorates. Millions remain at risk in Yemen's forgotten war. Yemeni farmers face obstacles due to war and siege. Good evening and welcome to Yemen Today's news. I'm Ali Nasser Al-Khamri. 5 civilians were killed and others were injured by targeting their home by Saudi-based mercenaries in Salah district of Taiz. Local sources reported that the Saudi-based shelled Kilaba neighborhood of Salah with artillery, killing at least 5 and injuring others. In the meantime, the Saudi-led coalition resumed its raids on the governorate by targeting with 6 raids Ousà district. In the same district, the Saudi warplanes targeted with 2 strikes Mocha Junction. Both Ousà and Mocha districts were targeted within the last 24 hours with tens of airstrikes. Saudi jet fighters launched a series of raids on Sanhan district south of Sana'a governorate among intensive flight, breaking the sound barrier in the area. Local sources in Sanhan district reported that the Saudi warplanes targeted with 7 strikes Al-Ar area. Enemy's jets flew intensively with opening the sound barrier over the capital city of Sana'a, causing fear and panic among citizens. It's worth mentioning that Sanhan district has been under constant air bombardment for 2 years by the Saudi-led coalition, which killed and injured hundreds of civilians. Saudi warplanes re-attacked Sa'da governorate north of Yemen. Local sources reported that the Saudi jets hit Al-Rusaifat area of Kitaf district with 2 raids hours after targeting Al-Buqa area with similar strikes. The Saudi warplanes also targeted Al-Sabhan of Baqim district with 5 air raids, leaving 3 civilians wounded. In Jaf governorate, Saudi warplanes launched several air strikes using cluster bombs in Khabwa Sha'af district. Local sources in the governorate confirmed that the Saudi jet fighters launched 3 air strikes on Sabrin area in the district. The source added that the warplanes also dropped cluster bombs in the same area. The Saudi warplanes usually banned cluster bombs in their attacks on many governorates, some of which on residential neighborhoods. In the same context, Hajjah governorate was hit with series of airstrikes. A local source said enemy military aircraft bombed Midi and Haraf districts with 15 raids that damaged properties. Previously, Saudi fighters killed 3 civilians and injured others by targeting their farms in Abs district. During the last hours, Midi and Haraf districts both were raided heavily by the enemy's jet fighters among intensive flights over the area. With the increasing threats to close port of Hodeidah by the Aggression Alliance, the head of the World Food Programme warns this will lead to a humanitarian disaster in the country, which already facing a real famine as a result of the aggression and the siege. Here is a report.
Is the lifeline of Yemenis and is the only access gate for food and medicine for most of the Yemeni population, which is threatened by the Aggression Alliance countries led by Saudi Arabia to close it. That closure, which will lead to a humanitarian disaster in a country facing a real famine, according to the head of the World Food Programme, David Beasley. The port of Hodeidah, from which the majority of food aid enters Yemen, as 99% of Yemenis import accessing the port of Hodeidah, as well as about 80% of food for the World Food Programme, which warns that the closure of this port for any reason will accelerate the humanitarian disaster in Yemen. Secretary General of the Norwegian Refugee Council Ian Egeland considered the humanitarian situation in Yemen which is about to reach to a brink of a famine, is for definitely a remarkable sign for the failure of the international diplomacy, pointing out that the world allows the famine to sweep 70 million men, women and children in an unprecedented manner. England also stressed on the need for pay stock and relief aid for 90 million Yemenis who urgently need food, calling on all parties not to fuel conflict in the country. According to the international reports, about 60% of Yemeni's population is suffering from food insecurity. 7 million people are not sure from where they will get their next meal, making Yemen face the world's largest food security crisis.
Farmers face big obstacles due to the brutal aggression and the unjust siege that led to lack of agricultural products and restrictions of exporting, causing the drought of thousands of hectares of agricultural lands. Here is a report.
Agriculture is one of the food security components of any country in the world, and our country is famous for producing many agricultural crops which benefit the local market and bring the hard currency to the national economy by exporting some agricultural products for the great demand it receives from different countries in the region. Agricultural products, especially mangoes, cannot be exported because of the continuation of targeting farms by Saudi warplanes and artilleries, especially in the border areas. The fear of farmers of a sudden attack on Hodeidah port and rise of oil prices caused the conversion of thousands of hectares in the border area of Hajjah Governorate from green farms to barren land. Hajjah produces the best mangoes in the region. Saudi aggression on everything in Yemen prevents mangoes export to be sold at the lowest prices in the domestic market. Saudi aggression remains a major cause of various tragedies that have afflicted the whole country. The statistics of the Ministry of Agriculture confirms that the agricultural sector's loss has exceeded $20 billion, and the number is still rising due to the continuation of the brutal Saudi aggression on Yemen. UN, international and local organizations have described the crisis in Yemen in details. Security Council, whose main duty is to maintain world peace, seems unable to make a resolution to end war and blockade on Yemen. Tens of thousands of Yemeni citizens of all ages killed and injured through the what so-called Saudi-led coalition.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, back to the headlines. Heavy air bombardment on several governorates. Millions remain at risk in Yemen's forgotten war. Yemeni farmers face obstacles due to war and siege. Thanks for watching and goodbye.